Hello there. So, Tanya and Jim, two of the big original YouTube names here in the United Kingdom. They got divorced, I think, a couple of years ago, and yeah, it's been a while since I've made a video about them, but there have been some serious developments in their relationship. Well, they're kind of not in a relationship, are they? But you know what I mean. There are some really interesting bits of information out there at the moment, gossip, if you like, but actually from the horse's mouth. Calling Jim a horse there. We're also going to talk about Martha, so stick around to the end of the video for that. And we finally know why they separated, which is quite interesting. We'll talk a lot about that later on because I've got some quite strong feelings about that. But firstly, let's talk about Tanya's acting career, or really kind of what's left of it. So as you may know, Tanya mainly uploaded YouTube videos for years. That was her main thing. And then, like most YouTubers, they found that they could put less effort in and probably earn more money, certainly more money per hour of work, by taking a photo, or getting someone to take a photo of them and then being paid to put it on Instagram. So editing a video, you know, filming your life and actually sharing interesting information that got you famous in the first place, that's not quite so appealing anymore, is it? So a lot of these people have dropped off of YouTube. Now, Tanya decided to try and diversify, as a lot of YouTubers do. You know, some have music careers, some have books, and she decided that she would like to go on to become an actress with seemingly no acting experience or, I was going to be really cruel and say natural ability. She can act, sort of. The degree to which she can act is debatable. Anyway, she hasn't replicated her YouTube success. She's struggled to get extras roles. So she's been in Holby City as an extra, which it seems a bit weird as a 34-year-old man, but I read a lot of forums on the internet about Tanya and Jim. I should just clarify, as I often do in my videos, they used to live near me, so I don't actually know them personally. There's not much to do in my city apart from think about celebrities who used to live near you and be bitter about them. So I followed Tanya's acting. She ended up in Holby City, and the reviews she received for her performance from her sort of fans, who probably have a little bit of a negative slant on her acting anyway, because the fans that comment on her acting are typically those that don't like her that much. They kind of hate follow her, if you will. It was a little bit amateur, let's put it that way, and a little bit like she struggles to display a proper range of emotions that you would expect an actress to display. She hasn't gained meteoric success. She's not in huge, great blockbusters. She's pulled a few strings. She's got some celebrity friendships that she's called upon, but she probably makes enough money from uploading a picture every week onto Instagram. So anyway, that's fair, isn't it? And then we have Jim, who also disappeared off YouTube. Incidentally, I looked at some of his videos today, and it seems that, you know, this will probably be an exception, of course, but usually videos about Tanya and Jim now get more views than the videos that they make when they actually bother to upload them, which is a little bit sad. And I have to say, you know, I don't have any particular dislike of Tanya and Jim. In fact, I probably quite like them, really. And as Jim said in his one of his latest videos, you know, if you put yourself in the public eye, you're going to attract some kind of criticism or comment. You know, he didn't seem to mind that. Well, I have to say, my videos aren't hugely interesting all the time, but I have just watched 15 minutes of Jim talking about the colour of the tiles he's going to put in a bathroom, which is simultaneously boring and also comes across, in my opinion, in your sort of posh London flat or whatever it is, as a little bit privileged and kind of a bit annoying. And I think really this is a completely separate video, but this is one of the reasons why the British YouTubers disappeared out of favour, really, because they've gone from, oh, I got this lipstick from Superdrug, or I'm wearing this wonderful jacket that I got from Primark, to I've got these Louis Vuitton eyebrow warmers and I'm moving into my £4 million mansion. Slightly less appealing. And don't get me wrong, they're not really boastful about it. It's just that they almost It's almost the fact that they don't seem to notice that they are boasting. They just kind of present it as if they were talking about something they bought from Primark. So that's the lay of the land with Tanya and Jim. And obviously they separated about something like 16 months ago or so, we found out. And there was a lot of speculation in the beginning about why they'd split up. Was it a big event? Did one of them cheat on the other one? Or was it slow over time? We weren't really sure. And in typical YouTuber fashion, they announced their split and then didn't give us a reason why. They gave us incomplete bits of information that were potentially quite misleading, which actually invited more speculation and more incorrect thoughts about why they'd split up than if they'd just told us. So the speculation continued with everyone saying, oh, I think Jim split up with Tanya and Tanya was really upset, etc. And then in Jim's latest video, he's actually revealed some very important bits of information. He's actually told us what we all wanted to know all along, and kind of makes me wonder why he just didn't tell us all along. I suspect his answer would be that, do we really have a right to know? Does he want to tell us? It's a private piece of information. The slight problem with that is when you've created an online persona and an online catalogue of videos that documents your entire life and your entire relationship with somebody that you've married, you're going to invite these questions when you basically destroy that house of cards. And although, there's an argument that YouTubers don't owe the viewers anything, there's an argument that they do owe the viewers, because it's the collective viewing figures that have paid for the houses and the cars and the expensive trinkets that they buy. Almost from a sort of tactical point of view, if Jim had just shared this information from the outset, it would have quashed it quite quickly. Because when Jim announced what I'm about to tell you, it came across as genuine. You trusted him. You don't have any reason to believe that what he said isn't true. Whereas a load of half-truths and missing truths, they're not even saying you don't deserve to know. They're just saying we're not going to tell you. That is arguably not a good kind of way to deal with the media situation. And I suppose that's partly because although YouTubers like to think that they are media moguls, they're generally just people like me here now, pointing a camera in their face, who know sod all about media and how to harness it properly and all that jazz. Anyway, the kind of meat of the video and what I really wanted to talk about was, why they split up and what's really kind of happened. So firstly, Jim was the first person in the Tanya and Jim relationship, shouldn't really refer to it as that anymore, should I, to get another girlfriend. He seemed to get a girlfriend quite quickly, to be honest, and, they're quite lovey-dovey, and that's quite difficult for people who were fans of Tanya and Jim, because it almost seems like, he's dropped Tan, and in comes another one, and she's perfect straight away. Seems a little bit strange. I do think that Sarah, I think that's his new girlfriend's name, I think she does seem to be perhaps more like the kind of girl that he would go for. She is, and I don't mean this in an incestual way, she is more like his sisters. So it's more like what he's used to from a woman. She's a bit more feisty, whereas Tanya came across as a little bit more kind of subdominant. Perhaps it's a better relationship mix, I don't know. But everyone said, oh, well, this must be hard on Tanya. And for a long time, Tanya was very single. But then a little bit of a revelation, and I don't know whether this is out there yet or not, but Tanya did upload an Instagram story not so long ago with her riding a bicycle, and she seemed to be riding the bicycle with another man with a leg wrapped around that man's leg. Now, that could just be a friendly encounter, but I reckon that it's probably a boyfriend, or at least, someone she's dating. So good on her. She's found someone, potentially. We'll have to wait and see. And there have been people looking through her Instagram posts and carefully trying to spot whether or not her new boyfriend is present in those pictures. Well, one thing you can do is a little bit stalkerish, but you can look at her friends, and they may have accidentally uploaded photos where Tanya and her new boyfriend are in it. Ooh, isn't that naughty. So the latest thing is that Jim has proposed to Sarah, whatever her name is. Absolutely amazing. Now, as a slight side point, before I tell you why Jim and Tan have actually split up, I think it's a little bit too soon. Just my opinion, and I think a lot of people may have that opinion, some people wouldn't. But I come from this from the perspective of somebody who's been dating a girl for, I think, 10 years. I shouldn't really get that wrong, should I? But 10 years without proposing or really having any imminent plans to get married. And some of that's come from seeing a lot of my friends when I was younger kind of going out with a girl for 6 months or a year and then immediately proposing. You know, it's that kind of, right, we've been going out for 365 days, will you marry me, kind of thing, and then rushing to get married, and then there's been the odd divorce here and there. So it kind of makes me feel like perhaps it's not exactly the right thing to do. But it does seem to me that there is a tendency nowadays to jump in to marriage. Probably works out for some people, but there are going to be people for whom it doesn't work out. And I do wonder whether Tanya and Jim, whether Jim and Sarah have jumped into this a little bit too quickly. But I don't know, it remains to be seen. They seem very happy in the videos, and I'm sure there are people who have my opinion and people who have the other opinion. And nobody is necessarily right unless they split up, in which case I was right. And this is the main point of the video, which I've carefully strung out to the end. Isn't that funny? Tanya and Jim split up 16 months ago. Well, Jim finally revealed in a video moaning about the headlines of tabloids when he announced that he was getting married to his new girlfriend, that actually they didn't split up 16 months ago, and that was just when it was leaked to the tabloids. So Jim seemed a little bit annoyed, perhaps, that tabloids presented the information that they did and kind of criticised them for, you know, well, they presented the information they had, but that wasn't true. Well, the reason it wasn't true is because you didn't tell them. And if the relationship ended before you formally announced it, then why didn't you just tell people sooner? Why hide it from your fans? I don't really completely understand it. So Jim also revealed in this video that he had received mostly positive feedback when he announced he was marrying Sarah, but he did receive the odd comment criticising them, and he said that over the years he'd found it really difficult to comment on Tanya's posts and things on Instagram because people would jump on it and say that he was rubbing her nose in it or let her grieve or whatever. As an outsider with really not much of a kind of interest, or says he, uploading a video to YouTube, but not really that invested, and I have got my own life to deal with, but as a kind of outsider dipping in occasionally, did rather seem a little bit peculiar. Well, Jim revealed that actually Tanya and Jim are on really good terms. They talk every now and again, they're really good friends, and then crucially they were really good friends is why they decided to divorce, because they were only friends, just drifted apart and wanted different things from life, which is actually one of the things that people had wondered whether or not it was the case, because it kind of seemed that way. He said there was no great big event that made them split up. It occurred over a period of time and then they formally announced it. Well, that's all people wanted to know in the first place. So why didn't you just tell people that all along? So then we get on to Martha, the little doggy, sausage dog about that big. So this was their kind of, this was their dog. Don't know where I was going with that. Or Martha Moo, as she was often called, which is, a little bit of an annoying name. Not as annoying as screeching out Nala at 130 decibels at frequencies that would possibly disturb bats. Those Zoella fans out there will know what I'm talking about. But Martha, their little pet dog, where is it? And this is the latest kind of confusion in the Tanya and Jim universe. Because since they divorced, Martha has not been seen. And there are rumours that every time that somebody mentions Martha on one of Tanya's Instagram posts, they get deleted and then blocked from Tanya's account. So obviously people are a little bit concerned about the well-being of Martha. Did she get given away? Or worse, is she with a family member? You know, we kind of want to know. Now, I think there's been some information released that they are sharing Martha. Why can't we ever see Martha in a video? Just Martha's ear or something. Some proof that she's alive and well. Are they not showing us Martha because Martha is the link between Tanya and Jim, and if they show Martha, they'll get a load of comments saying, you know, why did you split up, etc. Well, we'd like to know that. Again, Jim, if you just show us Martha and say, look, we don't upload pictures of Martha because it invites a load of criticism about why I split up with Tanya. You did that, it would quash that as well. Honesty is the best policy. But anyway, have I missed anything from this video? Please let me know down below. This is in a video of sort of Tanya and Jim gossipy videos and reviews of Tanya's acting. If you're interested in this, please check those out. My Patreons are scrolling down the screen now. Thank you very much to Magnanimous Meg and George Foot, who donate a lot of money. Thank you very much. It is much appreciated. And I'll try and say much a few less much times in the next video. Bye.